What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Endzone. It's your boy Craig,
Your boy Ace.
and we're here for another day talking football with the fans. So before we get started, just a little disclaimer. I do not think I'm too cool for school. I'm wearing sunglasses because I'm under the weather, and my eyes are all squinty, and it would look more stupid than shades inside.
Yes.
So that's where we're at. But today, we have a good show for you. But to get started with the show, we're going to run right into some updates. Starting off with Jason Pierre-Paul. Gets into a car accident in South Florida. Out for the year with a neck fracture. So to me, that seems like some pretty sad news. Tampa Bay just signed him to a deal. So probably going to get that guaranteed money, though.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad knowing that everything that he's been through, too, over the years. Like, a guy, like you said, just blew off his fingers just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He got a contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it's unfortunate that he got a sprained neck now.
Yeah, especially for a guy who obviously seems like he loves to play football. It may be about a paycheck, but it's also about playing the game. And I think that it kind of sucks to see a guy so talented, even playing with his hand all boxed up, playing with heart. So it sucks to see him go for a season, but hopefully he can heal up and maybe get a few more years left in the tank.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, well, next, I say semi-big news. I don't know 100% about this player. I'm not going to front. But the Patriots are to sign Jarrett Valdeir, offensive tackle out of Denver. And all I can say is that we always need offensive help. We did lose, what's his name? Not Matt. Brown, what was his last? Trent Brown. Trent Brown. So I don't know if he replaces Trent Brown or not, but
Probably more than likely so. He's an O-lineman, so O-lineman, you always need O-lineman to protect Brady. So
yep.
Anytime you add an extra O-lineman, that's help for the run game and the pass game. So
and when it's a veteran, that's even better.
Yeah, a veteran of time.
When you have a veteran O-lineman, and I mean they did run the ball pretty well in Denver. So
Yep.
And I don't know how many times Case Keenum got sacked, but. All I could say is Patriots need offensive line help all the time. We need to protect Brady, so hopefully this guy can come in and do the job. All right, this next bit of news, I think we might have a little bit more to say about this one. Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys are looking to make Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback in Dallas history. They're looking at maybe somewhere in the vicinity of $30 million a year. What do we think about that?
You know me with quarterbacks and someone like Dak, I really don't believe that he's done enough, and it's like $30 million is a lot of money. You already got a big-time running back over there. He's just going to piggyback off of him. So it's like they're just trying to match what Seattle's doing, or they're just trying to just pay all these young guys and see what goes. But at the end of the day, I feel like Dak, he's good, but he's not great yet. He got time to develop and keep on developing on his craft. How many playoff games has he been in since he's been in the league?
Exactly.
And
you still got to pay Amari Cooper. I can't imagine you're going to allow Amari Cooper to walk.
No, you're not going to allow Amari Cooper to walk, but at the end of the day, there's going to be pay cuts somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. But, so I don't know I don't know what could happen here, but my personal opinion is I like Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott plays with mad heart. Yep. I think that he doesn't give up. He plays hard, but he's not worth $30 million. I wouldn't bat an eyelash at like somewhere between 22 and 25 mil. I'd be like, yeah,
still a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but I'd be like, okay, he's your franchise quarterback, and you want to show him that you want him to stay.
But we know that he's their franchise quarterback, but it's kind of like, okay, Dak, we already know you're the franchise quarterback, you're the man, but what else could we do to help out this team and help out you?
Yeah.
Maybe you could have used some of that money to bring in some offensive linemen. Maybe you could have used some of that money to bring in another receiver. You already got a tip-top, and even though, correct me, but they already have a good O-line too. So it's
best O-line in the NFL.
Exactly. So it's like this dude's rushing for crazy yards.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's kind of like, okay, we got to settle the deal with Dak. Why not bring in a wide receiver to help out? Because
100%
a good run game always help out a pass game, and you already have a great run game.
Yep.
So
I couldn't agree more. I think that maybe Dak. I don't know if Dak is bringing on the pressure or if Dallas is just making a bold move on him. But at the end of the day, like that's what I used to love about Brady is Brady would take the pay cuts in order to allow us to sign better players.
But Brady understands if I take a pay cut, I sign better players, I win championships.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's what I love about Patriots.
That's the Patriots way, you know? They're not, everybody who goes to New England knows that you're not going to get a crazy amount of money, but you're going to play for a great franchise. You're going to play for, the fans is going to love you because they, you know, Boston fans is Boston fans. They respect everything, Boston and New England. So it's like when you're playing for a franchise like that, it's different. But I got a better question for you. Like, it's kind of like, so when growing up, you know, 32 years old growing up, Dallas always been America's team.
Exactly.
Do you still think that Dallas is America's team?
I got to be 100% honest with you. I don't. And you know what? I think I've always kind of known that, you know, because when you think football, the first thing you think is Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely.
Like, football is synonymous with Dallas Cowboys. But I think over past years, I mean, they are called the Patriots, and they are red, white, and blue. Now, they are kind of also one of the most hated teams in the NFL. But I think Dallas has lost that winning nature that made them America's favorite football team. I heard it on a movie one time, and I was just like, it was an argument who's the team, the Eagles, because you know the Eagles is the American bird, or Dallas Cowboys. What's more American than a cowboy?
Don't leave out Green Bay.
Yeah,
don't leave out Chicago Bears.
All these teams. There's so many teams that could fit this build, but I feel like Dallas Cowboys have lost that winning spirit and that winning
that nature.
Winning culture, that culture. So, I'm gonna say definitely not anymore. I don't think that they're too far away from getting back there if they wanted to, if they made the right moves and signing your quarterback that is not even close to being a top 10 to a top 10 deal. Not smart.
Yeah,
not smart.
So if I was to say, hey, what do you rank Dak as quarterback in the league, like on a scale from 1 to 15? What would you put him? What number you think he falls in on top quarterbacks in the league?
I think Dak Prescott is probably in the top 15, but in that 11 to 15 range. I'd have to like literally go through quarterbacks in my head, but as of last year, I would probably put him somewhere between 11 and 15.
So you got obviously Brady to go, Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Then you gotta go. This is not my order. This is not
even
definitely
an order.
my order. I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Because I don't want the fans to go crazy at home thinking, hey, this is his order. No. So you got Brady, Aaron Rodgers,
Drew Brees.
You got
who? Matt Ryan.
Andrew Luck. You got
Cam Newton.
You gotta go with Killer. You gotta go with Russell because he just got a big check.
Yep, big check.
Yeah.
I think statistically wise, Kirk Cousins got to fall in that top 15 list.
If you look in statistics, because he puts up numbers. So
yep.
Don't forget about
Big Ben.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers and Big Ben. Now we're at 10. Who else? I think there's still people that I think Matt Stafford's better.
So
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So. And I don't think any of these guys are making, not all of them, but like one of the things I look at last year, top 7 paid quarterbacks didn't make the playoffs. Or the top 5 or something. Top 5 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL did not make the playoffs. So paying quarterbacks doesn't mean championships.
No.
Adding players to your team and quality, that's what makes championships. And to me, this is a mistake if they give him that much money. I think he should not break 25 mil. And I agree with you. I think he should be closer to the 20 mil.
Yeah.
Because he is a good quarterback, and he did bring him to the playoffs. Once he got Amari Cooper, he brought his team back. So
Dak is a people's person. You know, he's a respectful guy, and everybody likes him around the league too. So he has that persona, that swag with him. Like,
he's a football player.
Yeah, he don't get into no trouble or nothing like that. So it's like,
you don't hear about him on the tabloids.
Yeah, no.
And he was like a 3rd round pick. So that chip on his shoulder, he's showing it. You know.
Yeah.
So I like that. All right, well, that's what we have for Dak Prescott. Moving on to, I don't know if I care about this news, but I'm just gonna bring it up. See what we think.
Okay.
Martavius Bryant is going to file for reinstatement. He believes that the NFL doesn't have a proper rehabilitation, like an opportunity. Like they don't give the players enough opportunity and enough help in getting back to where they need to be to play.
As in, a guy who got caught up with weed.
The guy who got caught up with.
So I always have a problem with that. Is because like, yeah, we know, like a lot of states nowadays it's legalized. That's number one thing is. So you can't really knock. So it all depends on what state he's in. But at the end of the day, NFL's policies for anything is really bad. And if you look at like MLB, they don't drug test you for marijuana. If you look at the NHL, they don't drug test you for marijuana.
Oh,
it's only NBA and NFL.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you think that?
What do those sports have in common?
But
That's very interesting. You know what? I did not know that. And now
how about this? Sit back and think. Name a baseball player that ever got caught up with weed. Name one.
I could not name one.
Name a hockey player that ever got caught up with weed. Name one.
Absolutely could not name one.
Name a basketball player that got caught up with weed. Name a football player who got caught up with weed.
Football players in abundance. Now, I agree. I think that the NFL policy on marijuana is ridiculous. But I also say this. Me and you are regular people.
Yep.
We work regular jobs.
Yep.
I used to be the type of guy who would like to partake in some leafy retreats.
Myself included, but I don't do those
Because
extracurricular activities
I
no more.
want to keep my job.
Absolutely agree with you.
So, in that instance, you're making millions of dollars to say, you know what? Pass me the whiskey instead of the blunt.
Absolutely. But it's like, okay, like we said, all these guys, we're just a couple of guys.
Yeah.
But all these guys come from different atmospheres. Like, depending on where you come from, depending on what you do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And look at different guys in the league. This guy from Patriots.
Yeah,
You see
Josh Gordon.
Gordon, you see how hard it is for him to even stay focused?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like some of these guys been doing it for so many years that helps them focus.
It's who
That
they
keeps them
are.
through. That's who they are. That gets them through the day. And a lot of these coaches and a lot of the coaches know it's no secret. Like,
Yeah.
these guys fail drug tests in college and stuff like that, and you still take a chance on them. And then, okay, when they fail in the NFL, now it's like, oh, this person's the worst player in the world over weed. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, don't discredit
demonize
this person's character over smoking a joint. Whereas if you know that person needs help, it's just like nowadays we have a lot of drug addicts in the world. We're trying to help them as much as we can. Some people don't agree with all the help that drug addicts get, but at the end of the day, if it's a family member of yours, you would want them to get that help. So there's no different in the league. Like, I understand making millions of dollars, but to some people making millions of dollars, it ain't gonna change them who they are.
True.
Like, you can't just
That's
like
100 right there.
Like, if I give you $1 million right now, that's not gonna say, hey, Craig, your whole life is gonna do a whole 360. It's like, no, now I got a little bit more money and a little bit more stability to do whatever the hell I really want to do.
Yep.
It's just I got more money to do it.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
I
But
agree.
I totally agree with you. Like, yes, you do got to be smarter. You got to know, okay, maybe I could do it in the off season for this amount of weeks and this amount of months, and then I got to get back to the grind. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, don't demonize your character over that either. You know,
Correct.
and that's how I feel like they do a lot of these young fellas because of weed. It's like, what, 50, like half of the states is already legalized?
Yeah, to me, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole background, but if you know the background of weed being legal, it's already a ridiculous situation. But I do agree that players should be allowed to use it just because of the simple fact of the healing properties it has and the anxiety. I mean, you're playing a high level sport in front of millions of fans, and that's some stress. That is a stressful situation. And if your escape is something that causes no harm to yourself or others, I think it is a huge mistake to penalize players for using this. But and the simple fact that is, since they do, I do want to say, as an adult, just like the rest of us, I do think they need to take responsibilities for their own selves. But I just don't. Like you, I don't agree with the policy. I also don't agree with the lapse in judgment to continue doing something. If you want to play. If it's about a paycheck for you, okay, you got your millions and you don't really care, you'll play until they keep kicking you out, whatever, fine. Then that's who you are. But, you gotta pick one side or the other. Like as a player, not as a person. As a player, you need to say, hey, listen, this is what I'm gonna do, or hey, like this is what I want to do, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So as a player, I honestly feel like the penalty is too harsh.
Yes.
You know, like suspend him for a game, give him a chance. Everybody knows. Okay, they'd be like, oh yeah, he's suspended for 6 weeks. Well, we all know weed takes what, 30, 60 days to get out your system.
Yep.
So to make someone take a drug test that you already knew they smoked the joint last week, you already know they're gonna automatically feel that. So
Yep.
I think they should like change up some rules to help out, help out some of these guys because like,
I
it really
definitely
hurt
think the
them.
punishment does not fit the crime, though.
No.
That's one thing I do agree with. Like, you're suspending dudes for whole seasons because they're smoking a little bit of weed, and like, then you find out a player kicked a girl in a public place, and he gets a 8-game suspension.
Smack on the wrist.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, granted, I understand that most of the time these 1-year suspensions come after like a second or third offense, but that still doesn't mean. I still think that that's extreme. Like, I could see every time you fail a drug test getting suspended for a game or two. Okay, this is where the slap on the wrist should be applied.
And then you give them like 2 or 3 chances of that failure, and then if they 3 strikes you out, 3 strikes if you feel it 1 week, and then they let you play in 2 more weeks, and then you keep on doing the same thing, then
maybe lose the season. Yeah,
lose the season.
And I think having to reinstate is a problem too. Like Martavius Bryant, he made his mistakes and he got booted. Like the fact that he has to apply to play again, you suspended him. Let him now. He did a suspension. Let him back in.
And then it's like if you, because I watch like different shows, different podcasts and stuff like that, and it's one funny like podcast that I watch, and they always talk about like they have a lot of old school players that played in the league, like NBA and NFL.
Yep.
And they talk about how they used to like drink before the games, smoke weed before the games. The OGs that was like in the 80s and the 90s, they were smoking crack and doing cocaine and all that before the games. It's like, and these guys was able to sustain at a high level and still do what they do.
Yep.
I don't agree with that stuff.
I definitely don't agree with that stuff, yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't agree with you getting high before the game either, but I just don't like the penalties that come with it too. You know what I mean?
And at the end of the day, we are people who should be allowed to make our own choices, I could see, and I could even see like not wanting someone to get high before a game. But once you leave that game, it shouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
So let's not waste any more time on Martavius Bryant. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Good luck.
And we'll see what happens. Next on the list is kind of a situation that intrigues me really big time. I really like the sound of this just because I'm kind of a fan of the team. But there are trade rumors floating around Gerald McCoy, linebacker out of Washington, right? Washington or Tampa Bay? Tampa Bay.
McCoy played on Tampa Bay.
I always get those two teams confused. So Gerald McCoy out of Tampa Bay, trade rumors around him, and the interest is coming from the Cleveland Browns. And a team that has already made their offense so dynamic and a defense that has already been playing so well, to add the likes of Gerald McCoy could make them that much more dangerous.
I agree and disagree.
Okay.
I agree because, yes, he is a good player. He can come in and help that defense. He's been in the league for a couple of years, and not to mention, like, that defense is building on something.
Yep.
But I disagree because of Odell's statement that he made, like, oh, we're going to be Patriots. Like, be yourself first.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't sit here and think you're going to be the next best thing off of just who you have on paper. Because you still got to lace up your cleats and go out there and play the game just like everybody else.
Exactly.
You know, and stop being a diva. Stop doing what you're doing. Just focus on football.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that gets that guy caught up in a lot. Just like an AB, like they want to be in social media too much. Sometimes that ain't the best way to be. Sometimes you just gotta, stay out the way, and then wait for the season and let your game do the talking.
Exactly.
Like they was good. They was good without Odell going there. Like I would say, like Gerald. I told you, like last year, I used to say all the time, yo, start this dude. Baker Mayfield, he'll make it happen. He'll make it happen. Like, they could be a playoff team if they start Baker Mayfield. Then when they started him and they started winning, then I'm like, yes. And then they just came, 1 or 2 games away from making the playoff?
One game. So if they started him 1 game earlier or the whole season, they would have made the playoffs.
Okay, so with that being said, that's the same Cleveland Browns team that probably won 1 or 2 games in 5, 6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you got this rookie that comes in. He has a winning heart. He's winning ball games. He's breaking you damn near to the playoffs. But now you bring this diva in, like, they gotta sit down and have a conversation. Like, man, you gotta stay out of the social media stuff. We just gotta go out there and play the game, because we have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Like, all this talking ain't gonna get you nowhere, because you actually have to prove what you're gonna do.
What I'm hoping is that, with Odell Beckham claiming Cleveland Browns are the new Patriots, I'm hoping that he sees that as an entirety, not just in having a winning team, not just in having high-level players and a good quarterback, but also the culture and the attitude that goes along with it. Patriots are humble. Patriots, I mean, on the field we may talk shit, but off the field we're humble. We're just looking for the next game. We're not talking about Super Bowl rings. We're not talking about playoffs. We're not talking about what team we're gonna beat. We're just talking about, hey, we're on to the next game. We're trying to have a winning season. Like, this is what, we're here to just do our job. And if you could do, like, I think part of Odell's divaness came from the fact that I think he was upset with the way things were going in New York. He was unhappy.
He's a diva because he's a wide receiver. All wide receivers are divas.
Amen. Amen to that.
It's just what it is.
But I'm hoping.
I was a receiver too, but I was always a running back my whole life until I got to college. They made me a receiver, so I don't have those diva tendencies. So it's like,
okay. I can't argue with that statement.
It's a fact statement.
It really is just 100 right there.
Who does the most talking on every team?
Yeah, every wide receiver. Every wide receiver.
DBs talk, but DBs got to come downhill and strike you.
Two
that's
wide
where it comes,
receivers
boom.
I love because they're not like that, and is Julio and Green. AJ Green and Julio Jones. They don't really be out there. I mean, they might have like their issues about stuff, but like they're not. I feel like they're not.
Because you got some guys that, like I said, you got some guys that know how to stay out the way, and then you got some guys that just want to be in the way. Yeah. And those are the type of guys that want to be in the way. Like look at someone like Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah. Oh, one of the best receivers to me, for me personally, all time.
Larry Fitzgerald, I feel like, is the exception though. He's just like Larry Fitzgerald is a football player.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He is a natural football player. And to me, that means that he's out there to play the game, he's out there to win, and nothing else besides that matters. He's got football tunnel vision, and he don't mess around with none of that other stuff. And I'm hoping and praying that for this team, Odell Beckham comes in and just becomes a leader. He's saying his stuff on social media right now because that's his way. He's a young dude. He's part of that generation. But I'm hoping he's gonna come in and make game waves instead of Twitter waves.
But it's like it's tricky to me because it's kind of like, for instance, like when I was in college, like you go to NCAA, like your first week or so, the NCAA will come out and tell you the do's and don'ts. They tell you like they give you a whole list of drugs that's banned that you can't take, and if you feel that drug test, you're smoked. They give you like social media stuff, whereas like social media lasts with you forever. Like just because if you post something and you delete it, it's still with you forever. Yeah. Like that's your image. But it's kind of like nowadays people use social media as an outlet in order to make money, in order to feed their family. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I get it why they're in social media because that's part of them building their brand. But I don't get it too because sometimes like AB being in a locker room recording Mike Tomlinson in the after game speech, I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you don't do. You get what I'm saying? That's very unprofessional. But if you're just on Facebook Live or Instagram or whatever and you're promoting a brand and you're promoting your business and you're promoting yourself, that's one thing. But when it comes to like recording in the locker room on a after game speech, that's a no-no. Recording in the locker room on a pregame speech, that's a no-no. Recording anything that has to do with you and in-house things is no-no. And that's why the Patriots are so good. And that's why the Patriots are so good. And that's why they have a great franchise is because most of this stuff is in-house. You know, like, don't matter, like when Josh Gordon was out and about and out on the Patriots, you see all his stuff was all on social media, all in the media. But when he came to the Patriots, it was more in-house. Like his suspensions and all that stuff was more in-house. You never knew what was going to happen.
Example is Gronk. Gronk's big on social media. but he keeps his football business in-house.
Yep.
And then his highlight reel, social life business,
spiking bears and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's in the off season though.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And so Gronk actually is like a social media, like an example to follow. You can have your fun on social media, but you can also be a professional at the same time.
Absolutely agree with you.
And I think that that's something a lot of these wide receivers, more specifically AB and Odell Beckham, can learn. But I think we have an exciting team, and I think that the addition of if this were to happen, the addition of Gerald Butler could be a big push for this defense, especially from a leadership quality, because they're not going to sign Jamie Collins. It seems like Jamie Collins is staying a free agent.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you bring in Gerald McCoy, and that's like a seamless transition right there. It could be even better. I don't know, but I like him going there. All right, so that's our updates for today. And now we're going to move on to something that I like to do. You've never seen it before. You're going to see it here on my show for the first time. I like to do this in my free time, and it's called If You Were the GM. So today, we have picked 1 to 2 teams each, and we have decided we're going to become the GMs of these teams, and we're going to decide who we're going to pick up post-draft. I'm going to start this off. I'm going to kick it off. And I chose the Washington Redskins. And I chose the Washington Redskins first and foremost because they picked up Dwayne Haskins, a nice rookie quarterback, who's going to become the franchise quarterback of that team if he pans out. And I think he needs stuff built around him. Plus, the Washington Redskins is kind of a team that's just basically empty. I mean, give me 5 top offensive players on the Washington Redskins, and I will give you a high five. So, thought I was going to say money? Hell no, bro. So, on the offense, I think that they need wide receiver help. So, in my opinion, you have, for a young quarterback, the best thing you can do is, 1, have a good run game, and they already have that. Adrian Peterson, Darius Geis, and who is most likely going to become the binky for Dwayne Haskins is Chris Thompson, because Chris Thompson.
I don't know. I like Geis.
I do like Geis.
He got hurt last year.
I like Geis.
He was tearing it up before he got hurt a little bit.
But Geis is going to be getting them first and second down touches.
It'd be a third down.
He's that running back. Okay. I think Chris Thompson plays more of a role like Theo Riddick or like James White. He's a pass-catching running back. Last year, until he got hurt, Chris Thompson was the #1 receiver on the Washington Redskins. So I think it's going to be the same thing. They're going to utilize Chris Thompson in the receiving and then go running back by committee. Well, probably if Darius Geis is 100%.
Gotta be Geis.
It's going to be Geis.
He was going to be the starter last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only reason why they got AP is because he got hurt.
Because he got hurt.
So that's his job.
I'm excited to see what Geis has to offer.
Geis is real deal.
And
LSU guy.
And that's what's going to help out Haskins is having a good run game. So they have the good run game, but their wide receivers are as follows: Josh Docton, Paul Richardson, Trey Quinn. And I know 90% of you don't know a single person I just named. Before today, I only knew 2, and really only knew 1. I knew the other guy's name, but whatever. I don't really know these guys are not capable of developing a young wide receiver. So first thing we need to do is we need to jump on the wide receiver train, and we need to grab a couple players. So the first player I'm going to suggest is Mr. Reliable, hands for days, Michael Crabtree. I think Michael Crabtree coming to this gives them the veteran quality that he needs. It's going to give him a guy who knows how to run his routes and knows how to compete for the ball. So I like Michael Crabtree a lot. I think there's a lot of teams he can go to and he can make a difference right away. So
I love that guy ever since college. But
he's good.
He played at Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech.
Okay.
I always watched him ever since college, and then it's like, what threw me off with him is when he let Buddy snatch his chain up.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You don't let that go down, boy.
Yeah.
Right? You don't let that go down.
I think he got a little bit too deep in it with Akeem Talib. And Akeem Talib, man,
he's
that
a dog.
Dude, yeah, he's a dog, man. Whoo, that's a dangerous guy. So, but I like Michael Crabtree. He's gritty, and he's obviously not afraid to get into it with the cornerbacks. But I think that will give him help. Another wide receiver who I would like to see go there, and I think this would be kind of like a make or break this wide receiver deal. I think that this wide receiver's had trouble. He had one good season and then followed up with a lot of not so great seasons. But I think that might have been systems. So if this player does not go to the New England Patriots, I'm always going to say shit like that. If he does not go to the New England Patriots, I would like to see him go to the Washington Redskins. That's Kelvin Benjamin. And I say Kelvin Benjamin because he's a big, tall guy. He can go up for the ball, and he can get downfield. He's had trouble. He got hurt. Then he had a bad season in Carolina. He goes to Buffalo and I believe it was a system.
Subpar team.
Yeah, very subpar team. He was he was pretty much really the only wide receiver on that team that even though he didn't do nothing, that was doing anything. So I think on a new team, in a new system, with a quarterback that's hungry coming in, I think that he could help Kelvin Benjamin get back that steam. So I like adding these two wide receivers. You have a vet, and then you have a guy who would be considered a vet just because of how many years he's been in the league. But I think that really helps out their offense. Now, not getting the ball offense, but still on the offense side of the ball, one more position I would like to add. You got a new quarterback, you got to keep him protected. Donald Penn from Oakland is available. So I think that helps out the offensive line. So those are kind of the offensive pieces I would add to kind of add to the strength of this offense to give Haskins the chance he needs. And then just to add a little bit of defensive help, I threw in the likes of Jamie Collins and Ndamukong Suh. Oh, man. You put Ndamukong Suh in the middle of that defensive line, and that's going to spell trouble for anybody. And then they already added Montez Sweat. He's probably going to play on the left.
Left side, yeah.
Now, we need to add to that right. Let's throw in Muhammad Wilkerson.
Oof.
And now I think you have a team that is dangerous, that's fit. You already got Landon Collins. You got Josh Norman. You got Reuben Foster. I think you have they have a Montez Sweat. You have a team that can work. But with these parts added to the team, I think we have an offense and a defense that's going to make you and get you into the playoffs.
That's pretty good.
Any notes here?
Nah, you did really well.
All right.
I like the receivers that you picked up to help out the young boy.
Yeah. I think they could get a deal on these guys. They're not going to break the bank. Give them 1-year contracts, and I think all these guys. I throw all these guys 1-year contracts and be like,
prove yourself.
Prove yourself.
There you go.
And if you do, I'll give you a bigger deal in the future.
Maybe a 3-year.
Yeah, and Ndamukong Suh might be a guy I'd give a 3-year deal to. Mm-hmm. I might go, hey, you know what? If you play for us, we'll give you 3 years. You'll help us get into the playoffs. Yeah. But with the rest of the guys, it's all going to be 1-year prove-it deals to me.
Okay.
So that's what I like. That's how I think will make the Washington Redskins a playoff-worthy team. So y'all heard it first. If you got connections at the Redskins, tell them I'll GM the team for $100,000 a year, $50,000 for every win. $50,000 for every win. All right. What do you got for us?
So me, if I was the GM, I picked Oakland, and I did Oakland because I did it from an offensive point of view, more so a defensive point of view, because I know like defensive wise, they already got a couple of rookies, and they keep on adding to their defense. Head coaches, a defensive mindset guy, old school, real hard nose,
exactly.
And defense is him. So I went for the offensive point because I think like they don't have enough for offense.
Absolutely don't.
I feel like a lot of people look at Oakland like, oh yeah, they're gonna be good. Gruden's gonna be good. This year we brought in a couple players, but I don't think they brought in enough. So what I would do is, number one thing is you got Derek Carr at the helm. So you know he goes through injuries.
Yep.
And then you got Mike Glennon, his backup, which I think you need to bring in not really an old vet, but you need to bring in someone who has been in the league. So I picked 2 journeymen, I took Matt Castle and Mark Sanchez. Only reason why I say them 2 is because I think they could be perfect backups to Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're gonna be starters or anything like that. I'm just saying like I would have more trust in Matt Castle to be a backup quarterback in Oakland.
Yeah. Behind that offensive line, He could do well.
Yep. And then for the running back position, you got Jalen Richards over there that they
Yeah.
just picked up.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
And
Oh,
Jalen
shit, yeah.
Richards, the backup.
He's the backup. I'm sorry,
Yep.
I mixed it up. Josh Jacobs and Jalen Richards, and then you had Doug Martin just get hurt. So what I was thinking is, if I was the GM, you either got to bring in like a Marshawn Lynch to help out the young guy, Josh Jacobs, because he's more like that style of player.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to take a chance on Marshawn Lynch, who just was over there in that franchise, then I would say bring in someone like Jay Ajayi, someone who can come in and actually be like a third down running back. Like, he can get yardage. We already saw what he did fantasy-wise.
Yep.
We already saw what he did in the league. You know he can play. He
I think
did
he's
well in
great on
Miami.
the goal line.
Yeah. So I think he could be that good, like, third down back for them with this rookie. But you got to bring in someone with a little bit of running back experience to help out the young guy, because the guy that they did bring in, he got hurt. So just to go off of that, their wide receiver core is terrible. Ever since they lost Amari Cooper, this guy retired.
Yeah, Jordan
Nelson retired. Those type of things happen.
Martavius Bryant suspended.
Martavius Bryant suspended.
Yeah.
Ever since they lost Crabtree, their wide receiver core just been downhill. You know?
I think that was a mistake. He was actually after the year that they got rid of him, the year he played before that, he was the number one wide receiver.
Yeah, he was number one receiver.
Team.
Yep.
So it was weird.
And right now they got AB as a receiver and Keon Hunchett. But it's like, what I would do if I was GM, I would bring in Calvin Benjamin.
Okay.
Big body going downfield.
Absolutely.
Help out Derek Carr.
Absolutely.
And I would bring in the sleeper, a guy who's done well and played in big games and been there before. You always want someone who's been there before.
Yes.
So I like Pierre Garçon.
I knew it.
Someone who's been there before.
I love it.
He can come in, like, you get those two guys for a cheap price to help out that receiver core with AB. So now you got potentially three veterans out there who makes the offense look a whole lot different, you know? And then their tight end, they got Darren Walker and Lee Smith, the backup. I think they're good. Like, Darren Walker, he didn't have a bad year last year. He did okay. He didn't have crazy numbers, but at the end of the day, nobody in Oakland had crazy numbers last year. It was a struggle season.
He did good enough.
Yeah, and then you got the fullback, Keith Smith. I really like Keith Smith. He's a good blocker. I like him.
And that's what matters for that position.
Yeah, and then I would bring in two linemen. When it comes to O-linemen, I'm all about age. I'd rather see a young guy come in than an older guy.
Okay.
Because that means their knees is a lot better. That means their movements is a lot faster. So it's like,
Not as
if you got linemen that been in the league 10 plus, 8 plus, that's kind of tough compared to so I went with Kyle Murphy. He's 25 years old. He plays on the Rams. He's a free agent, O-lineman. I think he can come in, help out, block a little bit. And then I also put Jaron Jones, another 25-year-old he's a free agent from Detroit Lions. So if you bring in those two guys, I'm not saying either one of them will stop, but you bring them in just in case emergency, because you're not too deep. Like, their line position ain't deep. They only got a couple, so you bring in two more extra guys just in case, for extra bodies, like how you're saying, for Washington, just to protect. And I think with the receiver core that I just named, you bring in one of these running backs and these two O-linemen, you could be putting up some numbers. You could be putting up 25, 30 points a game.
Amen to that.
Maybe a little bit more. I didn't touch on the defense due to the simple fact is, defense is defense. You can always get a star in defense. Gruden, like I said, he's a top-notch coach when it comes to defense, and that's his forte, and that's what he do.
He did add to his defense with Pharrell.
Pharrell from Clemson. Yeah. Like, he added to the defense already.
And they got a safety.
And they got the safety.
Yeah.
So he added to the defense, but I didn't want to touch it because that's his job. If I'm a GM, I'm like, all right, you're the head coach, I'm the GM. Your defense is good, but we got to work on this offense.
We got to work on this
offense. You know what I'm saying? We got to put up numbers to help out that defense.
And you know what I love? I love that Pierre Garçon pick. And the other reason why I love it is because what we just talked about. Look at the difference. You got two slot receivers who've been playing in the league for a long time. You have one who is showy and all up in social media. Another one who's been high level for a long time. Only reason why he hasn't been playing at a high level recently is because of injuries.
Yep.
But he plays at a high level. He is a very good wide receiver. Can come in and be like, listen, man, we've been playing in the league almost the same amount of time. I've been here a little bit longer than you. And you're outside the box right now.
Yeah.
And you need to rail that stuff back in.
But not to mention, like how we said about, like how I told you about AB. You know he's going to get doubled and triple team. Now you can't really do that if you got Pierre Garçon and Calvin Benjamin over there.
Exactly.
Because Calvin Benjamin is a home run hitter.
Yep.
So if you try and double team over here, you got one-on-one coverage backside with Calvin Benjamin. That's dangerous. The dude's what, 6'3",
I think,
yeah,
at least.
He's up there.
Yeah.
So, you know, he can go up there and get it. Compared to like, and then you got Pierre Garçon who got hands. He's going to catch that, you know, so it's like.
Pierre Garçon is a gritty slot receiver.
Yeah.
Man. He plays that ball, and I love that move. I love that. I hope someone from Oakland heard that, because Pierre Garçon to the Oakland Raiders is a move I didn't even think of. Wasn't even in my head, but I like that move a lot. I really do. So I think that's definitely a squad that can be worked with right there. So Oakland, pay attention. We're here trying to help.
You guys on the clock.
All right, now let's see where we're at for time right now. Phone's acting up. Nope, phone is dead. No timer. So we just gotta hope that we work this right.
Yep.
All right, so I went with a second team, and I chose. And this might be a surprise. People who know me, I chose the Denver Broncos. You know, but I said this before on my other show. You know, yesterday is that Peyton Manning's not on the Broncos anymore. So there is no competition.
Hold on. Oh, I was about to say, you know, Peyton was my guy.
Yeah, Peyton. Yeah, man.
He's my guy. I don't know.
I know he's your guy.
Yeah.
I know he's your guy.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a discussion about that at some point in time.
We can have a good discussion anytime. But remember, I said Peyton and not Eli.
We know.
Okay.
Ain't nobody Eli.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody has Eli. Nobody. I don't care how much of a Giants fan you are. You don't have Eli right now. So I chose to go with the Broncos. And I think the Broncos need help in different places. Not a whole lot of help, but just some help in some different places. So I'm going to start off right away with the safety position. They got Cravens, but I think that they need that veteran help. And I'm going to throw on the team. I'm going to sign Eric Berry.
Ooh, Eric B. EB sounds nice.
All right. I like Eric Berry, and I think that it's weird that he is a free agent right now. It's not computing up here to me that Eric Berry is a free agent.
I can tell you why he's a free agent.
Go ahead. They want to know.
I think, me personally, you know, everybody could be probably different, however you feel. But I think Eric Berry is a free agent due to the simple fact is he haven't found the system that really works for him yet. Yes, he played on good teams. Yes, he did his job. But you could see, like, when he plays, it's kind of like he's being held back.
Yeah.
He wasn't the Eric Berry who came into the league as a monster.
Yeah.
You can tell as he got into the league, I don't know if it was injuries, like he didn't get along with coaches. Because, you know, sometimes people have that effect, whereas, like, a player will not get along with a coach, and when they don't get along with a coach,
It affects their play.
It affects their play. If you don't get along with other players on your team, it affects your play. And it's little things like that that can affect your play that you don't, that you don't really pay mind to.
Yeah.
And it could be, and I think it's something on the lines of that. So him becoming a free agent, going somewhere, like I could see him going to New England somewhere and doing well. You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact is, the system there, how things work. You get what I'm saying? And that would make it different, a lot different.
Knowing what people are best at and putting them in the place to do it, do
Place
what they
to
do
win.
best. So I think that this would be a great team for Eric Berry. I think they could use his help right away. I think he would come in and make a big difference. So next on my list, jumping into the offensive side of it, is they'd lost Demaryius Thomas, who, even though I don't consider him to be a number one, he was their number one guy. You know, he was their number one wide receiver, then it went Emmanuel Sanders. You lost that aspect. So I think it's time to bring back a veteran who's not necessarily going to come in and be that number one guy, but he can give you that number one presence. And I think if he's back, if he's healthy, if he's 100%, it might be time to roll the dice on Mr. Dez Bryant.
Ooh, Desmundo.
I like Mr. Dez.
I like him.
Dez Bryant is one of my favorite wide receivers. I think just like every wide receiver, he got his diva qualities. But I think that he loves to play the game, and I think he plays hard. But who's beating Dez Bryant in a fight for the ball?
That I'm not gonna lie to you. That hurt my feelings last year when he got hurt.
Me too.
Because I really like. I'm really like a Drew Brees fan. Like I really, really like Drew Brees. I love what he did, like from when he came in with the Chargers, and then he went to New Orleans, and then it was Hurricane Katrina, what he did for that city, how he put on. He won them a Super Bowl. I love everything about the Drew Brees family, like everything. Like he's like one of the most upstanding American citizens possible. You get what I'm saying?
And he's a true football player.
He's a true football player. And the thing about that, too, is kind of like if Drew Brees had him, we would have a different conversation.
Way different conversation.
For Super Bowl champions, or at least a better competition than it was. That's all I'm saying.
If Dez could have been healthy, it definitely would have been a different. That last play wouldn't have mattered because they would have already been well ahead, and we might. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front. We might have been calling out different Super Bowl champions this past season had they been Dez Bryant. I'm not gonna front. Drew Brees, like one of the things that makes me mad. We'll get back to this. One of the things that makes me mad about what happens with Drew Brees is everything that Tom Brady is. Anybody can say what they want, but Tom Brady's the best. Tom Brady has all these rings. But, they say, oh, Tom Brady's 41, 42 years old. He's still doing it. Drew Brees is 1 year younger.
Exactly. Still doing it.
And he's still doing it. And in some ways, better than Brady.
Yes.
I think Drew Brees is more accurate. I think he's more of a gunslinger. I think Brady has a better football IQ, but I think Drew Brees is the better gunslinger. He's the better thrower.
I will tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Brady is a mastermind. You get what I'm saying? He is a quarterback. He is a coach. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
And when it comes to, but Brady also throws the ball only 20, 30 times a game. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you're a fantasy guy, any fantasy league I'm in, I'm always taking Drew Brees as my number one quarterback, number one and number two.
Yep.
Due to the simple fact is, he throws the ball 50 times a game.
Exactly.
But even though he's throwing the ball 50 times a game, he's still putting up 400 or 500 yards. You get what I'm saying?
And
that's hard.
He's doing it over and
with 5 or 6
over
touchdowns.
and over.
You get what I'm saying? Like his whole team eats. Like just imagine you could be the 1 through 5 receiver on that team, and you still get yours off.
Yeah.
Because he looks for everybody. You get what I'm saying? Everybody eats on that team. It's not like, you got a couple guys who score more than others, but you still get yours. You're still gonna get that ball. And it's like running routes with Drew Brees is kind of like every play you gotta think is coming to you.
Exactly.
You gotta be
ready for it.
When in reality, like, as a Patriots receiver, you got to be able to run block. You got to be able, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to run block because you're going to run that rock. Like, Patriots run the ball. You know what I mean? As we see in the Super Bowl, they run. They don't care.
No lie right there.
And then them Patriots is smart enough to know there's certain teams that can't stop the pass, and we'll just throw the ball all day with Brady on you, and we're going to check the hell out of you. When I say check, that means short routes. Brady don't have to throw the ball 50, 60 yards down the field like Drew Brees would.
Yeah.
But Brady's going to throw that 2-3 yard slant route that's going to turn into a 90-yard touchdown. You know what I mean? Because he has the receivers that can do that.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference, too.
And he knows when to hit those receivers.
Yeah, when to check out, all that,
Yeah, so, like, I that's where I have to agree with you. I love Drew Brees so much. And just as much as it will be sad to see Brady leave the game, I think it's going to be equally as sad to see a guy like Drew Brees leave the game. I mean, I'm glad he got his ring. I'm genuinely pissed that he got robbed of his ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that with the team he had.
Though.
Yeah, I know, because it's football.
Football's a game of inches.
Yeah, it's football.
You already know, like I know, in any sport, football, basketball, you can't leave the game in the ref's hands.
Yep.
That's just what it is. Because refs is just like us. They make mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes. 100. I agree with that. And so I think that Brees is just, I think he doesn't get some of the due he gets, and that might be because of the overshadowing of Brady. Yeah. But Dez Bryant to Denver, I think, would be a surprise move by Denver, but I also think it would be a big move that could help this team out if Dez Bryant is ready to go, and that's only if. Another move on offense, this isn't a huge move, but I think that this guy, he's not a big name, but I think he can, because he's already a veteran, he's played under a wide receiver who can be, a quarterback who could be similar to the one he already played with, is Levine Toilolo, tight end from Atlanta.
Toilolo, yeah.
Toilolo he's a good tight end. He's good in the red zone. And I think he's just a tight end who does his job. You know, he's not that tight end that gives you, he's not a big name. You know, he's not gonna put up a touchdown, you know, he's not gonna put up 8 touchdowns a season, and he's not gonna put up 100 yards a game. But he has the possibility to score them touchdowns, and he does have the possibility to get that 100 yards. And with Joe Flacco, you know, Joe Flacco can hit his tight end.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that giving you a veteran tight end alongside of Noah Fant is another piece that this team could use. To steal from you a little bit, the way you stole from me, is, they have a decent 1-2 punch in this run game. They've got Royce Freeman, and then obviously we know Phillip Lindsay. But I think what they do need is a guy who can punch it through the hole, and that is Jay Ajayi. I think that would give them look at me, my eyes are watering up here. You can't see it because of the glasses, but like my eyes are just watering like a river. So Jay Ajayi has proven, I think, that he might not be up for that full workload of being the number 1 running back. I don't think that he has the stability and the conditioning to be a number 1. But I think he does have the ability to be that short yardage back, that goal line back who can push it through the line, kind of acting as similar as like a Marshawn Lynch on the goal line, or even more appropriately, a LeGarrette Blount. Oof. So I like Jay Ajayi on this team. Once again, I do think that they need wide receiver help, so I threw in the likes of Dontrell Inman. And Dontrell Inman is a wide receiver that I think is underrated, but not by much. I like this guy a lot. He's kind of like your journeyman wide receiver. You're never going to say his name, but he can get open and he can catch the ball. He was really good on the Chargers. I was actually surprised he didn't have a big season with the Bears, but I think that this could be another team because Joe Flacco likes to throw the ball to veterans. He really does like veteran wide receivers. So Dez Bryant, Dontrell Inman, with the likes of Emmanuel Sanders and Cortland Sutton, I think that would make this a very, very dangerous offense. And then, like I said, adding Levine Toilolo. Finally, the last few pieces for defense. Once again, not a big name. Once again, not a big name. I like Danny Shelton. And then finally, I have to take this guy off the list because the Patriots are going to sign him. But I did add offensive help. And I'm actually not going to say his name because I just realized that he was already a Bronco. So it would have been just re-signing Jarrett Velfier. I would have just re-signed him. I was saying sign him as a free agent, but I didn't realize he was already from Denver when I wrote this down. So those are the picks that we made. If we were GMs, and I obviously know that you think that we've done a great job and that you think we should be GMs of our own teams.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. So, but we do this. We love it. It's fun. And our show is coming to an end today. Not the show, just the episode, just to be clear.
Make sure you share, like, post, follow the page. Keep on supporting us. We have a lot of support. Support's been going up. Just keep up the good work. We really appreciate it.
If you share, tag us in it. We want to know that you shared so we can say you're our friend.
Yeah.
And we can say the ones who didn't, you can go kiss somewhere that I don't want to say on TV.
And keep on giving you guys out there that's watching the show, keep on giving that constructive criticism and that great feedback. It's really working. It's helping us out.
Absolutely.
We all in this together.
We want to grow on this show. We want to make this show better for you guys, and we want to know what you want. So if there's something you want us to talk about, we said it before. If you want us to talk about something in particular that we might not be hitting on, let us know. If you have an idea for the show, let us know. If you want to be a guest on the show, let us know. If you are a girl and you think we should put a poll in the back and you want to work it, Let us know.
No.
So anyway, that's our show for today. We'll be here every week. Check out my show, The Flex, Wednesday nights at 9. Check out us Thursday nights at 9. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. On Twitter, we're ENTGYM.
YouTube.
Yeah, and check us out on YouTube. I don't think you can actually put a single page thing for YouTube. I think you just have to look us up. And when you're looking us up, the Endzone, and type the Endzone episode, and then 1, 2, 3, and now 4 will pop up for you. And check us out, man. We got 2 shows over 200 views. We're trying to break that 500, and then we're trying to break 1,000, and then we're trying to break 1 million. So please get us those views. If you share, we get more views, and we love you for it.
Thank you.
I think that's all we have for today. So until next week, we'll see you in the end zone. Have a good night.